Reclaiming the inside of a bullish triangle is never a good thing, but I think I know why this could be happening. Let's go ahead and go over the charts now. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by. Once again, this is ARCa coming at you with a COSM technicals, raw price action, and statistical threat of analysis on this happy Monday. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community and Discord called ARCa Bulls. With that said, let's dive right into the charts. Okay, you guys, so we are looking at COSM on the daily chart here, and as you can see, this is the descending triangle that we've been following for quite some time now. We actually reclaimed the inside of it. Of course, you guys know already. I haven't actually updated COSM since we were in the outside of this channel, right? But we did reach the targets that we were looking for, and this is also represented by the first set of bulls, right? So that's usually the triangle that you can take from the top side of the hypotenuse, right, all the way back down to the bottom side of the support of this triangle, right? So upon that breakout candle, we can apply this trend line to the top side of that breakout, and you can see that it was implying a price objective of about 397. On the daily chart, of course, we went up to about that, let's see, the high of about $4, but in the after hours, we did reach about 447, right? According to the Trading View algorithm, right? Of course, Webull shows about 440 or 442 or something. It's just going to appear as different as wash sales, right? So a lot of weird things going on there. But I do feel like I know what could be happening. First of all, please remember that per the golden rule of three, which is the three tests of the resistance followed by a pullback and then a true breakout test on the number 4 test. Number 4 is a true breakout test, but also number 5, if you recall correctly, if you watch my channel often, right? So number 5 is also a true breakout test. It doesn't happen as often as number 4, but it is a viable test. When we start getting into test number 6 and 7 within formations like this, then it starts to get a little weird, you know, but I mean, we are also right at about 75% or 80% to the apex of the triangle right now. So this, you know, a breakout from this triangle could be soon-ish, right? So let's just go ahead and take a look at what I'm talking about, because this, upon that price action about 447, I saw the other formation. Okay, so this is now what's pertinent or relevant, right? So this is a right-angled broadening ascending wedge. Okay, so the right-angled broadening ascending wedge is I mean, you can trade this wedge to the upside or to the downside. To be very clear with you, if we can actually see this right over here for ticker symbol VIRI, this is actually what ended up breaking out to the upside for this asset, right? So it's very similar to what we're currently in right now. See, so this has already. And it must respect I mean, price action must not do anything actually, but per the trading book rules, you know, the golden rule of 3 is something that we should look at, right? So in this case, you can see that we have a test number 1 here, we have a test number 2, a fake out here, that didn't actually touch, and a test number 3. So usually after the test number 3, we face the biggest capitulation. And so far, that kind of has been what's happened since that touch of about 447 at the top, right? So the price action looks like it's trying to imply a test back up to that 301 area, but I don't think that we can reach that. In fact, I'm looking at the area of around 318 to 312 as the potential bounce zone, as it's already trying to hold that area right now within that let's see, the low of this candle right here, which is 324 to the present 326, right? We've been holding there. So I mean, I like the price action there, but it's just, I mean, the longer we actually stay within this area, the better, right? But again, I'm still looking at a potential 318 to about 312 touch, right? So, and now I want to actually have you look at this too. Okay, so from the bottom of this low here, right, which is right around when this formation started, from that bottom here to the low of this to the low of this over here, where we face that 289 touch. It's about a 14-day and 16-hour duration, right? So I don't usually like to practice time fractals like this, but, you know, it may be worth a look, right? So now from the top side of the price action, from this high to the next peak, This was also 14 days, right? So this is 14 days and 8 hours. This one's 14 days, 16 hours. Okay, now from this peak to this peak here is also 14 days and 16 hours. Okay, now from this top side to the lowest top side, to the lowest bottom side, sorry, is the space of 14 days as well. So we're rhyming a lot right here. Okay, so now where it looks like there's a change though. Okay, so from this bottom to this top here is 11 days. So now implying that we would go to 11 days, right? So then we would, take the measurement from this area here. Actually, let me do it just like this right here, right? So it can be at the top side of this candle. So implying that we can face an 11-day change right over here, we would see a potential increase in time because there's a weekend. See, this is Friday the 6th here. So if we jump up towards that Tuesday, because there's a holiday there, I guess, notice the change there, 14 days as well. Okay, so I'm not saying that this is where we're going to the top. In fact, we have both possibilities here to be equally as viable, right? So to the downside, to where we can face the final support, either at 301 or the 312 to 318 where I'm looking at, and then face another possible 14-day incline to get to the top side, right? So remember, this is highly speculative. There's no backtesting involved in this, but there is a high amount of rhyming here. Okay, so I just want to kind of point this out here. Okay, so let's just say that we were to break out. Let's just say that this were the bottom side, right? So like price action would go, let me take an iteration of downside price like this here, right? So this thing right over here, I can actually put it right back here, and we can imply that the price action would go back down to this zone here, right? Let's just imply that. And then the price action would continue on an upside trajectory after that, right? So let me, there it is. Okay. So then let me go ahead and take this now into account, right? Right up to here, and then imply this to the current price action, right? So, and, we would just kind of make it a little bit larger, right? And let's just say that the price action ended up breaking out at this point here, right? So after we completed all those, the time fractals, just like the way we were talking about, right? So let's see. So in fact, it would be just a little bit further, right into this area here, where, actually this is 14 days here. So technically we would actually just, no, it would be right here. There we go. Okay, so we would take the price action consideration like this, right? So we would take a trend line from the top side, right, from the top side of the area where we're thinking that we can break out to the very bottom side of the support, right, to get a price objective. So if that is the price objective, then we can take this and apply it to the breakout candle, and then it would take us to a top side of about 722. Right, so 722 now, marking off a trend line here, then we can start to see that there are clear areas of resistance. In fact, this right here, there's no way that's a high of. Oh, okay. So yeah, you can see in the H right over here from the OHLC, open, high, low, close. You can see that's 725. Right, so this thing is already suggesting that 722, 723. This low right here on this candle here is also a low of 725 too. Okay, so very curious price action around that target as well. Okay, so I'm not saying that we're just going to go there. I'm trying to give you what potentials we're looking at. Okay, you can call it hopium, you can call it whatever you want, but this is kind of what happens, right? So especially on a bullish formation. Okay, so we've already completed 3 tests and we're in that capitulation event. Okay, so after that capitulation is upside and true breakout test, which is also curious because if we go back to our triangle, then that would mean that we would be breaking out of test number 5 after we just completed that test number 4. So again, I mean, that's incredibly curious, right? So now the price action from this triangle here would actually be from the top side of the hypotenuse, right, all the way back down to that support level. Then we can add it to the supposed area of breakout, right? And this triangle here would take us to, let's just say that we were to break out here in I guess Wednesday or Thursday, July 2023, right? So let's just see. So it would take us around that 507 target, which has a lot to do with a 2-spot 618 at 494. Right. So in fact, that entire area is one huge area of resistance as well. So if I just mark it off like this, then you'll see the high relevance now of that support zone. See all of this area here. Perfect candle touches there. Candles opening right at that valuation there. Right. Lots of resistance within this area. Perfect resistance there as well. Support touch here. You know, lots of price action happening within this zone. Right. So, I think there's a high potential that there is something kind of brewing here, and it could be showing us some type of hint. These formations, right? So now we're looking at back-to-back bullish formations. Okay, so that can lead to a serious upside, right? So looking at the RSI in the last part of the analysis here, since we're already about 11 minutes into the video. This 30-minute immediate short-term time frame is suggesting a downside. We're crossing beneath the 14-day simple moving average represented by that pink line. And moving up to the bi-hourly time frame, it's starting to show that the downside is not so strong. Even into the 4-hour and to the 6-hour or 8-hour time frames, the downside is not as significant as these pivots here. So there could be a slowing down of price action, right? So we have to see what the 30-minute and the hourly timeframes have to say, because very likely the shorter timeframes will cascade into the higher timeframes, and then it'll set the motion for the next timeframe. So we have to keep a close eye on that, right? So I kind of wanted to just put that out here, because if I'm being very honest here, when we're looking at buy formations like that, like for example this here within the triangle, that usually leads to a pretty interesting situation, right? And another thing to notice here is that I found a clear line of regression within the RSI, right? So we have this one right over here, right? But we can also take into consideration this pivot right over here, right? So where it touches support, and we're right at that support again. It's not to say that we can't fail it like this iteration here and then bounce to the upside, but it's just this is marking off something very interesting as well. And in fact, there are several drives. This price action here closing somewhere above the area of about 312 would serve as several drives of hidden bullish divergence. So if we do get that pivot soon to the upside, that would mark off a very powerful divergent drive, and the price action would likely follow that, since COSM has been following its divergences pretty nicely thus far. Okay, you guys, so please remember first and foremost that I am not a financial advisor. Take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever. I need you to do your own due diligence and everything will be cool. But with that said, you guys, I wish you well, a very, very good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.